this short video training module on how to get speaking engagements as a professional business consultant. Being able to speak allows you to be positioned as an expert. If you record that, you can show yourself as an expert on your consulting website. You can put that on YouTube or on other websites. Being able to speak shows others that you're an authority within your niche, that you have a lot of experience and confidence in what you're doing, and people want to hire expert, confident, authoritative consultants. The more that you can speak, the easier it'll become, but it's hard to get started. And so if you're just starting out, trying to figure out how to get invited to speak places, how to speak at conferences, I'm going to provide you a whole list of tips and techniques here, but it's important to know the why behind it, because it might not seem very motivating to go speak places. Maybe you don't like speaking, maybe you don't think you're a good speaker, but it can really be great for your career. You get good at developing content, you get better at writing, you can develop some really great relationships, and people really trust you much faster if they know that you have spoken at a lot of different conferences and events. One way to get people to hire you as a speaker is to run a blog. Have a blog on a niche topic. If you consult in 3 different niches, you could blog about all 3 on the same blog. Or if they're kind of different niches, maybe you have 3 different niche blogs. You just post 1 or 2, articles a week, 1 or 2 question-answer type inquiries a week there. That can be really practical, easy to do, doesn't cost anything, maybe $8 for a domain name, and it's really a simple process. By doing that, people will start to see you as an expert in that space. When people are looking to put together conferences and seminars and association meetings, they are likely to possibly come across your blog while doing research and might hire you to speak at their event. Along those same lines, if you have a website or a blog, it can be good to position one of those pages to talk about your speeches. Talk about the types of speeches you're open to doing, the types of topics you can speak on, why somebody should hire you as a speaker, and if you think within your niche there's enough demand for speakers that you could predict that people will be looking online for, how to hire a, let's say, process improvement expert to speak, or how to hire a process improvement speaker, or something like that, you could put that as the title of one of your website pages, one of your blog posts, put all the information about why you should be hired as a process improvement speaker, and then when someone's looking on Google, you might be at least considered. Otherwise, your website might not be found. So that can be a good tip. It's worked for me. I've been invited to speak just after about 9 months of using some of these techniques. I was invited to speak in Brussels, Belgium, in Moscow, and Russia, and Brazil, and New York, Chicago, Boca Raton, Florida, San Francisco, and all these different places, because people saw me out there and they saw my website, or they saw my blog, or they saw my book. And that leads me to my next tip here, is to write a book or consider writing a book that is at least sold online or given away online. If you don't want to write a book, simply write a whole bunch of valuable blog posts, copy paste those into a Word document, save it as a PDF, and call it an ebook. At least then you have something that you could print off and give to a client, or email to a client, or give away on your website that positions you as more of an authority. An ebook is good, but it really only takes 2 or 3 hours more of effort and research to self-publish a real book. And publishing a real book is great. You go to a meeting, put that down in front of somebody, it's going to help you a lot. What it also does is people want to hire speakers who are authors. The reason is, if you have enough knowledge to write a whole book, you probably spend 100 hours writing, then you probably have enough knowledge to speak for an hour and have something intelligent to say that can be organized professionally, etc. Those people who haven't been able to organize their thoughts enough to write a book, maybe it's less likely they'll be able to organize their thoughts enough to give a speech. It's kind of how some of the thoughts go. So it's not a requirement to be an author to speak, not at all, but it can definitely help, and it helps in so many other ways that it's a good goal to have for you as a consultant. Another tip is to write a series of articles or white papers. Those don't have to be published on your own blog, it can be published on other people's blogs or in industry journals or magazines. That can give you great exposure, and if you have a byline at the bottom of the article, or you mention in the article naturally that you do speaking engagements, that can be a great way for people to know that you're a speaker and hire you as a speaker. Another thing to consider here is if you don't feel like you're ready for speaking, there's 2 things you can do. First is Toastmasters. They have local Toastmaster groups meeting up all the time, everywhere. It improves your speaking abilities because other people in the room are on your side. Everyone's there to help you and themselves get better at speaking. Everyone at the table, usually 10, 15 people, are listening to you, sometimes less, listening to you give a short speech, and they're evaluating your speech as you go, so you get feedback every time. They'll help you sometimes record your speech so you can see what you look like when you're speaking, and they'll help you see whether you say 100 times, or like, or but, or maybe you speak too fast or too slow, or you slur a couple types of words. So they can be really great feedback and improve your confidence by going to Toastmasters. Another tip is to over practice and over prepare for your speech. Go over your PowerPoint 5 times, 6 times, and just prepare your speech and speak out loud. Speak to yourself in the mirror, speak to your wife or husband, speak to your best friend, and just show them what you're going to say and run through the PowerPoint so many times you wouldn't even have to look at it if you didn't need to. If you're more prepared, you'll be more comfortable, and then if a question gets asked, you can spend your energy on that question instead of being so exhausted by being nervous about the presentation that you kind of fumble and you can't think on your feet. Usually the well-prepared person is the one that can think on their feet because their mental energy, they have extra capacity. They're not at their limit trying to go through their speech for the first or second time. Another tip here is that when you are about to get into speaking and you want to be popular as a speaker, it can be really effective to develop an Excel spreadsheet that you could use when growing your consulting firm and getting speaking engagements. And what you want to do is track all of the organizations that have consultants in your niche speak. They could be industry organizations, consulting organizations, associations, for-profit conferences, non-profit seminars, webinars even. And if you can get all of those contact details in a spreadsheet, keep them updated with email address, phone number, their website URL, and then just a notes section in the Excel spreadsheet, it's kind of a little CRM system to help you keep track of those 30, 50, 100 relationships, and just touch base with them once every 3 months. So you're open to working as a speaker with them. Are there any opportunities? Here's the 3 to 5 topics I could speak on. Here's my references and places I've spoken before. Let me know if there's a way to work together. It's really that simple. You could have a template email. It's just customized for each organization, and then send that out to all of those people once a quarter. And if you do that enough and do Toastmasters and over prepare, I guarantee you'll get speaking engagements for sure. Maybe they won't be high paying, but you'll get some. And that brings us to our next point, which is negotiating on price while speaking. Now, as a business consultant, it really can be difficult to figure out what you should charge as a price. On the one hand, your time is all you have. You charge money for your time. On the other hand, marketing is a big component of speaking, of running a consulting firm or being an expert consultant. So you need to position yourself as an expert in as many ways as possible. So my advice is throughout your speaking career as a consultant, you're going to be charging more and more money for your time. And the same goes with speaking. You start out, speak for free, and if you can, have them cover your hotel expenses. Speak for free, and if you can, have them cover your airfare and your hotel to get there. After that point, you could have them cover your airfare and expenses as well as your assistants if you need them there to keep you productive in your business, your consulting work. You could have them, you could charge $1,000 or $700 or $1,500. I know some consultants who charge $5,000 and $10,000 per speech. I don't know of any off the top of my head who charge more than $10,000 per speech. But if you're really well established and high demand, then $5,000 and $10,000 is not out of this world. But typically $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 is much more common. Some places won't pay a single dime of your expenses, and they say, well, we're giving you great exposure, so take it or leave it, but we always find enough speakers, so we're not going to be paying for that type of stuff. So it really depends on what organization you work for and where you are in your career. I would definitely suggest that if you can get video recording rights, it is a great asset to be able to record every speech you ever give. Even if you only give 5 speeches within your career, you could stress that you're a speaker, mention you're an expert speaker when you go meet with potential consulting clients, give them a DVD disc of the speeches you've given, give them access to a part of your website that could be public or maybe is not public that shows them the speeches you've given. So maybe they'll only watch the first 3 minutes to make sure it's real, or maybe they'll watch every single minute of it. Either way, it's going to add your expertise, add to the level of trust they have in you, and almost definitely lead to more business. Those are my tips on how to get speaking engagements as a professional business consultant. These are things that I've learned, again, just by trial and error. I've never gone to more than a few Toastmasters classes. I've never gone to a training seminar on how to get speaking engagements or how to get hired as a speaker. I've just learned these things by asking for too much money while speaking, or not asking for enough money while speaking, or not having my expenses covered when I should have asked for them to be covered, etc. So these are, mistakes and lessons I've learned along the way and things that I've found to be really effective. There are more ideas out there, to book yourself as a speaker. There's 50 books written on it, but these are the direct things I know 100% for sure work or have worked for me, so they have a really good chance of helping you out if you want to get more speaking engagements as well. So I hope you found this video useful. This is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to help you make more money.